Yeah, no. Shalom. So, shalom, everyone. Give a couple more minutes, and we'll run. Speaking of that, did Arrow Freight call you? Sister Couture. Excellent. Shalom, Amber. Give it a couple more minutes, then we're going to jump on. Couple more minutes. Definitely thank the Almighty for Zooms. Major blessing. Talk about different topics. I definitely like it. Be able to answer questions to brothers and sisters, as well as guests. Definitely thank the Almighty for Zooms. Different perspective, whether for parenting or the mindset, anything, as whatever comes. Never know who's going through what, and we could be our last shalom, Elijah, Israel, and we could be the last line of defense to help someone. This brother, which I was ashamed of it, I'm not going to call him a brother. This Hebrew or black person was at a restaurant, and it was completely empty, and this Asian guy just came and just sat on the opposing side because the whole thing was empty. So he films and he just berates this guy. So out of all these seats, you sit by me. But all these seats, you sit by me. And so the guy's, he has earphones, and when he sat down, he kind of, and maybe that was his last time. Maybe he wanted to give up on life and be a suicidal. And you, not only you just say, hey, can you sit over there? I want my privacy. It could have been nice. You filmed it and you berated the guy. And maybe some cultures is like, oh, that guy's by himself. Let me sit by him. And he's just cordial, right? And you just crush the dude. And you see sometimes, especially with older people, they're lonely. They're lonely. And so, I said lonely, but so sometimes they'll start conversations, and I'll talk to them for like 15, 20 minutes. And sometimes it's good for them just to socialize with other human beings when people just kind of ignore them. Because, when they get old, society kind of ignores you when you're 80 or 90. And you know what I'm saying? They kind of just move by you, and you're walking slow across the street, they'll pass by you or whatever, right? So maybe that guy was just lonely. See what's up. How are you doing? How's your day? You know what I'm saying? And you could say, hey, I want my privacy. Yeah, It's a little awkward that the whole restaurant was empty and you came and sat at my table. Yes, that would. But on the other aspect, I don't know why someone's calling me. On the other aspect is not only you don't got to be rude about it, is that you never know what people's going through, and you never know when people already want to give up on life, and there could have been that man's opportunity to be light. And same thing with Zooms is some people will seem strong, some people will seem good, and you never know. You never know what they're going through on the side. And so that not only Zooms answer biblical questions and we laugh and we joke, but that they have some people that they could go to, and maybe they'll be able to open up, if not to me or to another sister or to another brother, and we could be that light for salvation, as well as their mental welfare. So I definitely give all glory to the Most High for that. Praise the Almighty for that. What else we got going on? Because we got like 2 more minutes. Then I'll bring up, it should be a shorter service. I always try to sneak the news in, but sometimes, like today, more scriptures keep coming to mind. So we're going to get into it. But definitely thank the Almighty for brothers and sisters. They encourage me. And sometimes when you're like, you feel like you're by yourself keeping the commandments, and you realize there's other people in the fight. And not that you glory in their persecution and adversity, but you glory in that they're still standing. Like, I don't want to see people go through financial struggle keeping the Sabbath, but it motivates me when I see other people holding a standard to keep the Sabbath. And you're like, man, because, you get in your own little world and you think you're in the trenches by yourself, keeping the commandments of the Most High, but really there's someone right by your side, maybe in another city, maybe in another state, that's fighting the good fight of faith and not bowing the knee and not going ahead and getting the vaccination or go ahead and break in the Sabbath. There's out there people in the same trenches fighting the same fight. They're just on a different front, so definitely thank the Almighty for that. All right, that's about time. Show me, God. Let's get it. Yep, it's time. Welcome to True Hebrews United, the Almighty Yeshua, this beloved holiness instructor, discipleship drill sergeant. I'm about to get into the book as usual. Definitely give all honor to the Almighty through His Son Yeshua, HaMashiach, the only begotten of the Father. Definitely double honor to the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the teachers, the elders, the bishops, the deacons across the whole planet, teaching this word, persuading people to repent from their sins and come to this gospel. All the brothers and sisters keeping the Almighty's commandments, statutes, judgments, precepts, and ways, as well as them being the light of the world, the salt of the earth, and holding a standard. All the people on the Facebook and the YouTube that like, share, emoji the videos, I appreciate you guys. Put some stuff in the comments, be interactive, as well as check out the YouTube, True Hebrews United of the Lord Yeshua. Jump on that. Let's get the algorithm going. Put some comments, put some thumbs up. Share some love on that as well. That way, hopefully, that could go out there, get recommended to people, and that one video could be that one video they needed to bring them to salvation. So, because some news I got today, I'm going to teach on it again. And I'll probably start teaching on this topic maybe like 2 or 3 times a year, because I feel that it's under taught. So I'm going to teach on it even more. Let's go ahead. Give me first. So with all that said being done, let's let the fingers do the walking and the scriptures do the talking. 1 Corinthians chapter 6. 1 Corinthians chapter 6. 1 Corinthians chapter 6. Let's get it. Verse 15. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 15. Know ye not that your body is the members of Amashiach? Shall I then take the members of Amashiach and make them members of a harlot? God forbid. Know ye not that that which is joined unto the harlot is one body? For two said he said he shall be one flesh. But he that is joined unto the Lord is one spirit. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body, but he that committeth fornication sin against his own body. Check this out though. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Ruach HaKodesh which is in you, which you have of the Most High, and you are not your own? For you are bought with a price. Therefore glorify God with your body and with your in your spirit, which is the Almighty. And that's the point I want to get to. The main context is fleeing from fornication. But my other point is I want to say is your body is not your own. So once again, we're going to deal with being obese, being unhealthy. Not just, you could be healthy and be skinny. We're going to deal with this because a situation happened with someone a friend that just died. And I'm going to tell the story later on in here. Just died very young. So your body is not your own. So you can't just do what you want with your body and treat your body like trash. Your body is the temple. And if you gave your kid a brand new car off the lot and he just trashed it, you will be upset. So some of you guys, the Almighty has given you perfect bodies, and then you just trash it. You trash it. There was a little meme where it seen this guy was walking, and he seen this guy driving in a car, and he was thinking to himself, man, I wish I had a car. But as he was dreaming about him, because he's catching the bus, wishing he had a car, there's a guy in a wheelchair looking out the window, watching him walk. And he's like, man, I wish I could walk. And it shows you perspective. And here's the thing is, some of you guys have bodies where you could do a jumping jack, you could run, you could walk, you could swim, and you treat it like trash. And it's only to your own destruction. And we're going to get into this in the scripture. So I'm going to get the shout outs right now. Because they have this misconception that you could be obese or be unhealthy and be right in the sight of the Almighty and be in line and be in his will. No, you're not in his will. And I'm going to show you with the scriptures. So let's get the shout outs real quick. Here we go. Gia, Vince, Katura, Kamari, Ariel, Nava, Kashev, Zahara, Vincent, Izzy, Joshua, Jocelyn, Damari, Christine Cannon, Elia Israel, Gino Wright, Manaya, Gimme Matt, Claudia, Messiah, Jatri Epps. I appreciate you guys. I want you guys to make it into kingdom. Please find a congregation. I am not the only one. I'm Teacher Simon. I'm one of many, but also one of few. Please find some brothers and sisters that will love you unto salvation. All right, cool. Go ahead and give me James chapter 4. James chapter 4. And starting at verse 14. James chapter 4, verse 14. Whereas you know not what shall be for tomorrow, for what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeareth in a little time and then it vanisheth. For what that you ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live, and do this or that. But now you rejoice in your boasting. All such rejoicing is evil. Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. So if you read earlier, he says, we were going to such and such town to get gain. Oh, I'll meet you tomorrow. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do that next week. He says, you don't do that. You don't know. Your life is short. It says, if the Almighty will, I'll see you tomorrow. Or I'll see you tomorrow, Lord willing. Or I'm probably going to get this out, Lord willing. Because we don't know. And it says, to you that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, it is sin. Now, without this scripture, we wouldn't have known that to just make statements as if they are is sin. But now that we know, it is sin. Now, I'm going to use this in conjunction with this next scripture. 1 John chapter 5, verse 16. 1 John chapter 5, verse 16. I'm just laying the foundation right now. If any man see his brother sin a sin which is not unto death, so now we know that there are some sins which you're outside the will of the Most High, but it's just not unto death, right? He shall ask, and he shall give him life to them that sin not unto death. There is a sin unto death, and I do not say you pray for that. So if you see your brother lacking, sinning against the Most High, and it may not be unto death, but you're supposed to tell your brother. You're supposed to let your brother know. And once again, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. So a lot of people know their eating habits and their lack of exercise is bad. They know this. Few people have I seen that's obese that says, oh yeah, they know this. And then you're not doing it. You are willingly, and you don't put one and two together, but indirectly you are defiling the Almighty's temple because you gave you a body that works and you said, I'm going to trash it. And there's people in a wheelchair that wish they could do the things you do. I'm going to not exercise. I'm going to not build the heart. I'm not going to work on the lungs. I'm not going to do this stuff. And some of you guys, even when, like my buddy, I'm going to tell you later on, even when the doctor says, hey, you are destroying your body, these are the symptoms, and if you go down this path, this will happen, and you still don't do it. Yes, you're outside the will of the Almighty. There's no way you're going to say, oh, we need to preach and we need to obey, we need to do this, we need to do that, and then you willingly destroying the temple of the Most High. What do you think is going to come out of that? But let's keep going. Let's get some examples of what you're doing. Same thing. Now we're going to compare the Passover to what you're doing, being obese or being unhealthy. 1 Corinthians chapter 11. Verse 23. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 23. For I have received the Lord that which I have delivered unto you, that the Lord, the same night which he was betrayed, took bread, and when he brake it, he gave thanks and brake it and said, take, eat, this is my body that was broken for you. Do this in remembrance of me. And that's coming up in a couple months. And after the same manner also he took the cup and he supped it and says, this is the cup of this cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do as often you drink it in remembrance of me. And they did it every Passover. So I don't know why they try to do it every Sunday or whatnot, but whatever. For as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, you do show the Lord's death till I come. Wherefore, whoever eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily shall be guilty of the blood of the Lord. But let a man examine himself, so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily eateth and drinketh damnation to his soul, not discerning the Lord's body. Now, if the Almighty, and I'll draw this, I didn't plan to draw this one out, but I'll draw it out for you guys. If the Almighty, I'm not even going to draw him. I'm saying he died for your sin, right? He died to deliver you. That's you. I'm not drawing a picture of the Messiah. To deliver you from sin. So how do you take the Lord's Supper? We're just going to use a loaf of bread, right? There you go. A loaf of bread. You take and drink the blood, right? I'll just say a cup, right? You drink the cup while sinning. This is why you eat it and drink of damnation to yourself, because he died. That's you, to deliver you from sin. So you take the Lord's Supper while still sinning. This is why he says you eat and drink of damnation to your soul, because you're making a mockery. Because it's insulting that I died for this, for you to keep doing this. I remember, have you ever been in a situation where you came into the defense of a woman being beat up by a man, and so you stopped the dude, right? Just for her to go back to dating the guy again. You're like, dude, what was the point? And that's what happens when you take the Lord's Supper while still sinning. You eat it and drink damnation to your soul. But verse 30. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 30. For this cause, many are weak and sickly among you and sleep. That means you die early. That means you're in the Almighty, and I'm not teaching on the Passover right now. I'm going to show you how this applies to your temple. That means because you do this, some of you guys are dying before the time the Almighty has originally set for your life. Some of you guys, you see some of these people at the congregation, they're always sick all the time. Maybe there's sin in the camp. Maybe 4 months ago, they took the Lord's Supper and they were really secretly sinning, and they didn't tell no one because they didn't want to feel embarrassed. And so the Almighty put something on them. And even though we're praying for them, maybe the Almighty's not taking that sickness off them. Maybe they go through certain things because you're doing this. So, in like manner, go ahead and give me 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. Verse 16. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 16. If any man among you, what? That's 1 Timothy. My bad. Went too far. There we go. Verse 16. Rejoice evermore, pray without ceasing, and everything give thanks, for this is the will of the Almighty and Mashiach Yeshua concerning you. Quench not the spirit, despise not prophecy, prove all things, hold fast to which was good, abstain from the very appearance of evil. And the very God of the Almighty sanctify you, and the very God of peace sanctify you. And I pray Yeshua, your whole spirit and soul and body be preserved blameless until the coming of our Lord Yeshua Mashiach. But my main point I want to get to is 18. In everything give thanks, for this is the will. So we pray for our food, as you know. Before we eat, we give thanks. He was our example. He gave thanks for our food. So you're praying. Why are you praying for your food too? Not only do you pray for your food, that you're giving thanks for your food, but you typically pray that it does not harm you. So you're praying for your food, that you could be healthy or it does not harm you, but you eat unhealthy all the time. How does that make sense? Because I've never seen one person say, Almighty, please make me a diabetic. I want high blood pressure. I want high cholesterol. I want to get a stroke. I want to have back pains from being overweight. No one prays for that. But you live like that. You live like that. Because faith without works is dead being alone. So you're praying over this food that it gives you health, that it does not harm you, and it's healthy, but then you eat trash. You eat trash all the time. What is the purpose of, other than giving thanks? What is the purpose for praying for your food if you're going to eat like trash? You're going to overeat. Some of you guys are in gluttony, and two types of gluttony. You guys know the first gluttony is when you have your plate and there's a little bit left on their plate, and your body sends a signal, hormone, saying, I'm full, I don't need anymore. So you get this full filling, and it's not enough to save in the refrigerator for the next day or later on, but it's just enough to where you feel guilty if you waste it. You're just going to have to throw it in the trash to save it in the refrigerator. You don't force feed yourself. That's called gluttony. The second part of gluttony is in a week or two, you gain 3 pounds. 2 weeks from there, you gain 3 pounds. In 1 year, you're 10, 15, 20 pounds, 30 pounds heavier. You know what that means? That means you have taken in more calories than your body needs. That's still gluttony, because you're not gaining muscle, you're gaining fat. That's gluttony. Don't try, if that's not gluttony, then why are you gaining weight? That means you're eating more calories than what your body requires. That's gluttony. And typically people drink soda, cake, ice cream. I've never seen, man, I'm just gaining all this weight and all I eat is just salads. No, that don't happen. They're eating junk food, McDonald's and whatnot. And yes, there's always outliers and there's no absolute. But you're eating the wrong stuff and too much of the wrong stuff. So, now let's show you this example. 2 Corinthians chapter 9. 2 Corinthians chapter 9. And we're going to start at verse 5. It amazes me, and maybe it took this for me to teach on it, and why I teach on it so hard, is because I realized a lot of people teach on not breaking the Sabbath. And a lot of people teach why Christmas is false. So I don't really need to teach on it as much. But no one teach on being obese here in gluttony. And gluttony is a sin. No one teaches that. No one teaches when the doctor tells you this is wrong with you and that's your temple and you don't do anything about it, now you're sinning. It says, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. When the doctor says, hey, you need to do this. Hey, do you really believe when your body is wrong, something's wrong with your body, how the Almighty is going to show you, he's going to give you a vision or a dream, or you're going to be coming to work one day and you're going to see a burning bush and you're going to stop to look at this burning bush and be like, thy daughter of the Most High, you have high blood pressure. You need to cut down on your salts. He's not going to give you no burning bush for that. He's not going to give you no vision or dream to tell you you need to get your body in order. You need to make some habit changes. You need to change your habit and how you eat, and you need to exercise more. There's something, what you're doing is destroying your body, and you need to stop doing it. He's going to send the doctor or the nurse or a friend or a family or a YouTube video. He's going to tell you that there's something wrong with your body. And he expects that if he showed you that for you to make some immediate changes to your lifestyle. Now, why would he show you for you to do the same thing? Why would the Almighty show me that Sunday is not the Sabbath, but Friday at sunset, what they call Friday at sunset to Saturday at sunset to Sabbath, just so for me to still do Sunday worship? Why would he show me that Christmas is wrong just for me to continue to celebrate Christmas? So why would the doctor tell you that, hey, what you're doing, this is wrong, just for you to continue to eat like trash and not exercise and do the exact same thing? Why would the Almighty allow you to get that information? That makes zero sense. And it surprises me how many people that profess that they have a relationship with the Most High, that they got the Spirit, that they live from the Most High, and they be like 100 pounds overweight. So the Almighty never showed you that you being overweight is bad. You not one time that came to your mind that, man, I need to start losing weight. I'm not honoring the Almighty, how I'm treating. He gave me this body that could do a jumping jack, that I could run, I could jump, I could switch. And there's people that's in a wheelchair. There's people in a rocker. I'm talking about young kids. There's people with missing legs, with disability, who wish they have the opportunity. And you get this brand new car off the lot and you treat it like trash. You treat it like trash. He said, who made the deaf, the dumb, the blind, and the lame? There's people that's blind. Imagine someone blind, and it's people blind people wouldn't know what they're missing, but someone that do know what they're missing don't have a chair, and they just got to watch their friends play soccer, and they wish they could get on the field and play soccer. I'm like, I wonder what soccer feels like, and they can't play soccer. And then you see this guy doing nothing, just beating up their body. You're like, dude, you have perfectly good legs, and I'm in a wheelchair, and you're just beating it up. How do you think that looks? And these people that claim to serve the Almighty, and some of them are saved because maybe you are living for the Almighty, and this is the first message that's going to come your way, not the last, because I'm always going to teach on this, that's saying, no, you're outside the will of the Almighty if you're overweight or if you're unhealthy. You could be skinny and unhealthy. You could be skinny and you go to the doctor and they say you're about to be a diabetic, then you need to make some changes. Else you fall into sin, because the Almighty showed you, and every single time he went, he healed all manners and sickness and diseases. And he says that I might give life and life abundantly. And even when we get into the kingdom, the tree of life is going to be there. And it says that the leaves is going to heal the nations and all sickness and diseases will be gone. So every place he went, he brought health. For you to come and repent and get baptized to live unhealthy. Does that make sense? Every single place he went, he healed all manners of sickness and diseases. When he brought them out of Egypt, it said everyone was in good shape. There was no one that had a bent back or nothing. He brought health every place he went so you could come and eat unhealthy and live unhealthy. Do you really think that aligns with the scriptures? Do you really believe that aligns with the scriptures for you to live unhealthy and eat unhealthy? And yet he did nothing but brought life, and that you may live life abundantly and healed every sickness and disease. It makes zero sense for you to be overweight and be preaching the things of the Most High. There should be no obese preacher out there on this planet. Period. Oxymoron. That's like being terrible in your marriage and preaching the Bible. The whole Bible is about marriage. How are you going to not try to get your marriage right and the whole Bible is about marriage? How are you going to teach about health and about your body and preserving and salvation, and then you're unhealthy? He is all hand in hand. The natural inheritance that Israel got is symbolic for the inheritance in there, in the kingdom, eternal life. And the natural health that Amashiach brought down here was the same thing as that tree he's going to heal the nations with. So there's no way. So let's keep going. Or any fruits, any meat, only fruits and vegetables. Definitely there is a benefit for fruits and vegetables as far as that. There will have to be something to supplant the protein, because you do need to maintain muscle mass as a man. I don't know where you live, but like in Belize, it gets to 100 degrees, and trying to do an 8-hour day as a man doing construction or something on fruits and vegetables and no protein, you're going to wither away. You're going to wither away. I've tried to even cut down my protein and my strength immediately left. I didn't go to zero. So a person will have to eat a large amount of beans, or I don't know what they'll do, eggs or fish or something. There's protein in fish. We see where Amashiach himself gave people fish and bread. Remember, he says, take of the fish which you caught. And he was already cooking fish when he showed himself after the resurrection. So the land of milk and honey, milk has protein, high in calcium and whatnot. So if you wanted to go that route, you could go that route. We always ate meat in the Old Testament. So, I mean, even the Passover, we ate meat. So I'm not saying be a huge meat eater as far as, I'm not going to get into nutrition, but I am going to answer your question. You know, beef is like a 6 hour. It's real hard on the liver. So they say beef like once a week. I'm talking about like a steak. Like, it's hard for your body to digest those chunks of meat. So ground beef or whatnot. But if you could do the turkey, the chicken, whatnot. But if you do want to go fruits and veggies, there's certain sickness and diseases you may not get because you do fruits and vegetables. There's benefits from that. Because that's the opposite of what we do in America. We typically are carb heavy and meat heavy. A corn asada burrito is just a little strip of tortilla and it's just full of meat and pico de gallo. Like, we're real big on heavy meats, but yeah, that diet will be better. There's no sin in eating meats, but if you want to roll that way and it makes you healthier, then roll that way. I don't know, like as a woman, I don't know how you don't require as much protein, but some of the men, we do labor intensive jobs, not just sitting in the office. We're going to need that protein, because else we're going to lose our muscle mass. So, and man, I do construction, by the way, so that's probably why I'm more biased on that aspect. So, carrying with that, like what she was saying is, the Almighty brought nothing but health. So that's opposite to live unhealthy. Let's go with 1 Corinthians. We might get into some of the news. 1 Corinthians chapter 10. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, start off verse 23. All things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. Like, I do pizza every once in a while. I like these little things. They're like yogurt raisins. You get them at the Dollar Tree and whatnot. And so I personally cheat on the weekends. You know, like I'll get pizza. I'll get like a strawberry limeade. But anything I don't finish Saturday, I throw away. So I don't take it into Sunday. And I don't buy any cookies. I don't drink sodas. With the exception of the pre-workout, because there's sugars in the pre-workout for the gym. But I'm actually going to the gym. So, and I'm not saying you have to have a strict diet of me, but there has to be some level of discipline. Because the whole thing about the Bible, we could sum this up, is discipline. It's a restriction on what days we work, when you can be intimate with your wife, what you wear, who you hang out with. There's some level of discipline and restriction and some reservation. When you want a wife, you want a woman that's reserved. She's not showing all this cleavage and showing all this skin and taking all these butt pics. You want someone that's reserved, have some level of modesty or some level of discipline. And so we get caught up with, well, I'm not cussing, I'm not drinking, I'm not committing fornication, and you're keeping the standards that he set before you, but then you live lawless, because this is the law. You live lawless with your diet. You are reckless with your body. Some people's reckless with their penis. Some people's reckless with their vagina. And some people is reckless with their diet. You're reckless. Anything that looks good, you're going to eat the ice cream. You're going to eat the Twinkie. And you're going to do it 7 days a week. You're just reckless. You have no restriction, no reservation. You have no modesty, no sense of discipline with what comes into your body. Because it tastes good, I will eat it. And most of the stuff that's healthy for you tastes like trash, like spinach, like greens, like broccoli's all right. Depends on who make it, right? You know what I'm saying? Most of the stuff that's good for you tastes like trash. Same thing with the Almighty. The stuff that's good for us, like the law, is not pleasing to the flesh. Oh man, I could make money, but it's the Sabbath. That doesn't please us because we broke. I need that money, but it's the Sabbath and I'm not going to break that commandment. It's the Day of Atonement. I got to fast. For you to grow with the Most High, you need to fast more. Fasting restricts the body, and having self-discipline and mental fortitude, because so many times, oh, I just want to give up on the fast. I just want to eat. And it's really having mental fortitude and being mentally strong. To say, you know what, I'm going to do the full day, or I'm going to do the full 2 days, and your body's telling you one thing and you're beating up the flesh. Like, no, I don't care if you're hungry. I'm mentally stronger than my body. I will not let this flesh rule me. And some of you guys never develop that because you just say, I don't celebrate Christmas and I keep the Sabbath and I'm not fornicating and I'm living holy and I'm doing the fringes or whatever, right? You get caught up with that. But then on the other aspects, some of you guys, you're reckless with your money. Every time you go to the gas station, you got to get a soda and chips. Why do you have to spend $8 for a cup of coffee because you got to go to the coffee store before you go to work all the time? Why can't you just bring a lunch? Make some sandwiches and bring a lunch and save $50 a week. That's $200 a month. Some of you guys are reckless with your spending habits. And then, oh, money, pray, man, I don't know how I'm going to pay these bills. I don't know. You get caught up with the basic commandments when he says, walk circumspectly. And then when it comes to your diet, you're lawless. Some of you guys, seriously, what sense of discipline do you guys have that you say, I restrict myself? Oh, that's just too much. Like, I like, praise the Almighty for my wife, because she'll be like, it's not worth the calories. She says it a lot, it's not worth the calories. I'm like, man, that's pretty cool. Like, and then sometimes, like, she'll eat it, but she don't really cheat like that. Because, and I'm going to get into the inheritance part of it right now, but let's go to this next scripture. Same book, 1 Corinthians chapter 6. Actually, I'll read 23 real quick and we're going to go to chapter 6. All things are lawful, but all things are not expedient. All things lawful, but all things edify not. Eat. Just because it's not a sin to eat a Twinkie, don't mean it edifies when you do it 7 days a week. Just because it's not a sin to drink a soda, if you drink 5 of them a day, you drink a energy drink in the morning, an energy drink at lunchtime, and then you drink soda for your lunch and your break and this, it's not going to edify. Because if it did, it will prove it out when you don't become a diabetic. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 12. All things are lawful for me, but all things are not edifying. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power thereof. Some of you guys beat your pornography addiction, repenting and coming to the Almighty, but you're losing your addiction to sugar. Some of you guys are losing your addiction to social media. You're brought under the power of sugar. Why do you have to have sugar every time you eat a meal? What is it in you that you refuse when there's fruits and vegetables for dinner? You just put carbs and meat. You refuse to eat a salad. Some of you guys can't even remember the last time where you just had a salad by itself, just to have a salad for the sake of eating a salad. Man, just put some avocado in there and I'll put some cheese on top, bro, and that's straight, dude. I get a nice little avocado, smear it in there, put a little shredded cheese in there. I could just eat a salad. Oh, man, and that's what's wrong. You guys got to break that mindset. And these last 2 scriptures, I'm going to show you why. You got to break that. My friend, Gordon, I grew up, I skateboarded with this dude. This dude died early. This is the 3rd person I had. The doctor said, you need to take blood thinners. I should have screenshot it because blood thinners obesity is a cause, could cause people to bulge out your walls to where you need blood thinners. But that blood thinners could be inherited. There's other causes for why people need blood thinners, by the way. too. And this is a little ADD moment. I was like, blood thinners. And it's called a decoagulant, right? You got to take blood thinner. I was like, what if I bought blood thinners and then I looked up in Belize all the snake bites that will coagulate your skin and have you get a stroke because your skin starts to get thick. You know how they put it in fake blood or whatnot and turn to jello because it coagulated with a snake bite? I was like, why can't I just take blood thinners and then if I get bit by a snake? And I actually looked it up on Google and they have snake, it's not per that snake. It won't stop the venom, but it stops your body from coagulating blood. And you could buy that. I was like, all right. So then I keep some, and not all snakes will coagulate. Some is a neurotoxin and all that stuff. Not all snakes do that. Some will just break down your immune system and your heart will just stop breathing. So don't just think because you get bit by a snake, you take that, and that depending on that snake, depends on how they get you, right? So, all right, back to the main story. All right, so my boy Gordon, I was like, I found out that he died. And the doctor told him, you need to take blood thinners. And he's like, oh, well, you know, those doctors and this and this. And some things pharmacists do because they want to make money off you. But if they're telling you to take blood thinners, then that means there's a problem. You have thick blood. There's a problem with you. And within a year later, he died. And this is like the third person that's like the 50s and 40s that died. Is 50 the new 80 now? Is 50 the new 90? Are we going back to the Stone Age where we just die at the age of 50? Is this what we're doing now? With all this technology, you guys still eat like trash and die at 40 years old? Is this what we're doing now? This is the name of the game. This is the trend. Obviously, it's the trend that's going on now. Hey, let's just die at 50. Let's just eat like trash and die at 50. Even though we have all this technology and all this medicine to get us to 80 and 90 years old, nah, let's just go ahead and just die like it was 2,000 years ago. Just die early because, you know, we'll die from a cavity back in the day. We'll die from this. We'll die from that. There's no medicine. You'll die from dehydration, whatever, right? Let's just go ahead and take us back to the day and die when we're like 40s and 50s, right? That's what we're doing. It's the third person I had. So let me show you these two scriptures. This one scripture. How does that feel when the doctor tells you to do something and you don't listen? That's like the Almighty say, hey, you need to take this until you get yourself right. And he didn't. And he was always kind of big, overweight. He had no level of discipline, so he wouldn't eat right. He wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? But, bam. I got to find out and see if he had kids. Proverbs chapter 13. He's like, dude, people dying early, 30s, 40s, 50s. Like, I'm in good shape. I want to, Proverbs chapter 13. All right. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 22. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up to the just. So it's leaving an inheritance. We know like life insurance or leave a house, an inheritance, whatnot. By the way, if you guys don't know, whatever you inherit from your parents, you cannot sell as far as a land. So a sister asked me a question because her mom sold some of her grandma's inheritance, you know, and whatnot. But no, what you give your children, they need to give their grandchildren, and that does not leave the name. That does not leave. Now, if your child, you know, say you gave him 2 houses and you use the rent from this house, use that money that he was renting out, and he bought another house and sold that house and made money, that he bought that and he bought that. But what he got from his dad has to go to his son and that son and that son. That no man loses their inheritance. So just to put that out there. Anyways, so you owe your children and your grandchildren an inheritance. And it's not just possessions. Look at all that wisdom that you're not going to give your grandchildren, that you're not going to give your children. My cousin died, left one of her sons still in high school. There is a situation where you're going to need your mom and dad. There's a time where me and Mrs. were going through some stuff, and my mom came and helped us out. There was a time where we were struggling too. Another time, I think her mom bought us a bed or something. Like this bed collapsed and the bed that for her back was like $600 or so. There's a couple of times just on the financial level to where we needed our parents. And if we didn't have our parents, we would be struggling. There's it could be maybe your husband cheated on you and you're taking the kids, but you don't have a mom to go to or a dad to go to because they decide to eat like trash and die at 45 years old. Your parents decide to eat like trash and die when you're 22. That's unfair and that's selfish. That you owe a duty and a responsibility to be there and support your children, not just until they're the age of accountability, which is 20, not no 18, biblically 20. You owe them that. You owe them there. It goes beyond because the time when they really need you, especially as a young man, is when they're 20. They need you growing up their whole time, but when they're picking what direction to go, and they're going to go through some hard times. Mentally, they're going to go through some hard times. Hey, Dad, I'm going through this situation with this girl. I'm going through this situation with this job. I'm going through this situation with this employee. What's your thoughts? This and this. This is what happened. And you owe it to them. You owe it to your grandchildren. You owe it to your grandchildren to be there because sometimes they're not going to listen to their parents. And then like they're going to go to their grandma and grandpa, and then their grandma and grandpa are going to come from a whole different angle and say the same thing the parents were saying, like, yeah, son, I expected better of you. You know better than do that. Man, just go ahead and listen to your parents. Like, all right, grandma. They're going to go and it may be that situation, and grandma could bring the wisdom down to help that child. You owe it. You don't, your body is not your own, and you're not just for yourself. You don't think your job is done once they turn 20? That your job of being a parent and being a support system, like I'm gonna just eat like trash, and then who cares if they don't have a support system? And when they go through a financial struggle, they end up homeless because I'm already dead. They can't come to live with me. When they're going through this or they're going through that, and they're going through the adversity of life and the weight of life is weighing them down, I can't be as a support to help them to stand up because I chose to eat like trash and I chose to die early. These are preventable. There's no reason someone should die from obesity because that is 100% preventable. You may get cancer and not know. You may get some rare disease and it's no fault of your own. But getting lung cancer for smoking cigarette, 100% preventable. Obesity, preventable. All this stuff a lot of this stuff is preventable. And you go the path and you think you're right with the Most High. You're thinking you're in good standings with the Most High, just living that way. There's no way. If you go to the doctor and the doctor says you need to do something, and especially when it revolves you changing your diet, they don't make money when they say, hey, cut down on your salts because you have high blood pressure. There's no money from the doctors even being made to say, oh, the doctors just say, no, you need to just cut your salts. You need to go ahead and start cutting your diet. You need to change your diet. There's no money made by them doing that. So just listen to them. When they say you need to exercise more, you need to do this, or you know you need to exercise, you need to do it. Exercise is free. Some of you guys are dying for a solution that is free. Go outside and run. Go do some push-ups or pull-ups. Free. Do some jumping jacks. A jump rope. You don't even need the rope. All you got to just do this is for 60 seconds. Act like it's an invisible rope. Punch. You don't even have to have a punching bag. You could just take 2 rocks. Just punch. It will wear you out. It's free. You can add 5 to 10 years on your life for something that's free. And you guys choose not to do it. And what does that bring you to the second sin besides gluttony? Slothfulness. And you know that's a sin. That's all in the book of Proverbs and Psalms. A slothful servant. Slothful in the hands. Being lazy is a sin. Read Proverbs and try to tell me being lazy is not a sin. So gluttony and laziness will get you guys down. It'll get you outside the will of the Most High. So, pass your inheritance, your wisdom and your guidance and your support to your children and to your grandchildren. Because this is a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children. And I'm pretty sure that that grandchild that has his dad and his granddad is a lot better than that person that don't have the granddad and don't have the dad, because the dad died at 45 and left a 9-year-old, which happened, or I don't know how old he was. Then my cousin died and left a kid still in high school, and the grandma's already died because it was my aunt. my auntie. She died, and then 8 years later, my cousin died. And so now he doesn't have a grandma or a mom. Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing? So imagine not having you're in high school, not having your mom or your grandma. So we're going to get into the news, but I pray that you guys make some ways. I'm going to read these comments, then we'll jump to them. Exactly. Tell my children I exercise so I can keep them the same. Good forward thinking, taught not upon a lot, touching. I appreciate you guys. Too, also, if you don't eat healthy, you're teaching your kids to eat unhealthy. And if you don't exercise, you're teaching your kids to not exercise because they're observing you. Exercise needs to be fun and don't make it a burden. And then when you're like, when we used to go to play basketball all day, go to the jungle gym, we used to ride bikes all day, do jumps, be tired riding up a hill. That was exercise. They have a bike at the gym now. You know what I'm saying? They have little jungle gyms at the gym. You see the bars? They're like little jungle gyms at a gym now. The same thing we did as a kid. You know, we used to run for fun. They have a treadmill at the gym. The same thing. And we took it as fun. But now today, oh man, I don't want to exercise. This and that and that. You make it so burdensome. That should be fun. That should be fun. Get your kids off the video games and have them extra. Oh, you want to play video games? I need 25 push-ups, 25 sit-ups, 25 jumping jacks. What? Yep. If you want to get on the game, I want 25 push-ups, 25 sit-ups, 25 jumping jacks. All right, you want to get on the game? I need 25 sprints. One back and forth, 25. You can get on the game. Man, I don't know. I'm just shooting ideas out there. Teach them and get them accustomed to exercising. You know what I'm saying? So let's give the almighty hand clap for that, and I get into the news. With all that said, keep standing, give the almighty hand clap. All right, so let's deal with this news. I wanted to deal with TikTok, and I couldn't find the video, so I'll deal with TikTok once I get more articles, how the whole TikTok was a fake shutdown just so they could take the live off, and now they could censor you anyway. So I heard speculated got bought out by Meta. More evidence got speculated they got bought out by Meta. Another one says GameStop, but now we have no free speech now. You know what I'm saying? It's done. It's done, data. You know, all the good stuff, all the juicy stuff, because if I'm live, you can't censor me. You can't censor. This is a live video. But now that they took the live off, they can censor you. All right. I don't really, as my disclaimer, so I could be effective when I teach the gospel, I watch things from Kevin Samuels to the videos where they ask people questions on the street, to podcasts, stuff that's not cussing and whatnot. So I could know what's going on in the world and be connected and be effective when I teach the gospel. I've been serving the Almighty so long that there's a lot of movies I never watched. It had nudity or sex scenes or something. So have you seen this movie? No, I don't know who's the top rapper out. And I don't want to be so deep and living so secluded, because we are in the world but not of the world, but so far detached from the world that I can't effectively teach the gospel, right? So I need to know what's going on. So I'm going to deal with these things again because it keeps going on. Sky Jackson, she used to make commercials as a kid. I think the Band-Aid brand lady. She messed around with this rapper, and she's the 4th baby mama. But the one video I want to see if I can show you, which made me upset too, this video popped up on the feed, is this guy with 8 children, 3 baby mamas. Let's see what's up. All right, where we at? All right, is it a screenshot or? Oh, what are we doing? All right, bear with me. All right, there we go. All right, now it's here. If you guys could, I don't really watch I skip to the video part because I don't watch people that really cuss or none of that stuff. But This dude right here. See this dude right there? It's by this guy. I don't know who that guy is. He makes the single mom videos, right? So it popped up and I skipped part. And they're watching this guy. And he tells this woman, because he's 6'8". Yeah, I got 8 kids, 3 baby mamas. Like, what? And she's a pretty woman. She's like, well, you deserve, I can see why you can have that. And she is into this guy, and you could tell she's going to sleep with this guy. Because she's all blushing. You know how girls get when they're really interested into you? They're just doing all the blushing. And she's going to be the 9th baby mama. And so the thing I keep telling why people fight polygamy is they're already doing it. And he openly told her, I have 8 children and I have 3 baby mamas. And most women will pass up a 5'10" good guy, got a decent job, construction, UPS, whatever, make decent money, pretty good money, for this guy that has 8 kids and 3 baby mamas because he's 6'8". They will pass this up. And this is why they say the saying, nice guys finish last. Because if I was, let's say 6'5", whatever, why I'll run through all. If you're so fascinated on height and not on being faithful, not on being a good leader, not being financially competent, not having money. There's a difference between having money and being financially competent. Because there's people that make a lot of money and they blow it at the casino. So being financially competent, having husband material, having father material. If you're so fascinated with height, then yeah, I'll just run through you. Because that's all you care. And see, I think times has changed, because back in the day, as far as me, I had never had issues with the height. The height thing was a preference, and it wasn't a requirement to marry someone. And it's similar to like girls with big butts. We always had, I like big butts and I cannot lie. And all the rap videos had girls with big butts and whatnot. And that was the black thing. But now it became a trend, and now everyone's getting BBLs and you need to have a big butt, and it's all on the mainframe. And you see Asian people that want girls with big butts. I'm like, bro, genetically, you don't have what it takes to date a woman with a big butt, because that requires certain things. And I'm not really going to get in detail, but it's like, now all these women are getting BBLs and doing this, and it wasn't a big thing of having a big butt. Yeah, brothers, we always like big butts, and we cannot lie, right? But now it became a trend, so now women with regular size or no butt at all became that much less attractive simply because this trend that went. And so it seems that now women are taking this height for a status. And I will just be another single mom just to say I had a kid by a 6'8" person than to just be a married wife with someone that's 5'10" or 5'7". And when did height become a requirement? That was a preference, and it turned to a requirement, and it's a status to where you see people post, I'm finally with the 6 foot tall guy, and it became a status. And because you made this a requirement, it has nothing to do with the merit of person. I'm going to bring this right back. You'll see pop the balloon. Person comes up, these people pop the balloon. And I really don't watch that stuff, but I need to say, they'll pop the balloon, right? They'll pop the balloon. But if you're going to pop the balloon off of something so shallow like how they dress, that's no difference than them not hiring me for the color of my skin. You don't know how I could be the best programmer, engineer. I could be the best worker. I could increase your profit shares. I could be the best candidate for this job. But, you just see my skin? No, we're not going to hire him. And how do you think that is when you pass by potentially good guys that will make good husbands for some guy with 8 kids, 3 baby mamas, because he's 6'8"? And the trip part about this is she didn't have any kids. She didn't have no kids. So you're willing to be the 4th baby mama? You're willing to be? Why won't people say, look, this dude, you started a family 3 times and failed. You are terrible at either picking who you're choosing to be your kid's mother, or you are terrible at a relationship. You started a family with 3 different women and failed. What is wrong with you? Why won't women say that? This man started a family 3 times and failed. And I'm still going to sleep with this dude. I don't get it. And then here's the thing. Bring this back to a man having more than one wife. You would demonize me. I don't have more than one wife, but if I didn't preach the gospel or something things, yes, I'll pursue that if I had the money for it. You would demonize me. Oh, you're led by lust. You're led by lust. This man wants to marry, because I'm thinking marriage is a good guy. Sleeping around is a bad guy. A guy that wants to date for marriage, good guy. A bad that just wants a situationship, sleep around, bad guy. This guy wants 2 wives. You guys will say he's bad. This guy, maybe 1 wife, probably not, but has multiple baby mamas. And you'll still date this guy. You'll still go after him. And you'll still say this guy's led by lust because he wants 2 wives to where the wives don't work and he pays for the children's dental and he's not just sending a little child support check. He is taking care of their dental, their health, their medical. He's school books, school clothes. He is supporting on his shoulders 2 homes where both wives don't work because biblically it's not their job to work. And this guy's the bad guy. But you guys will sleep with this guy and he's maybe paying child support. He's not in all those 8 kids' lives. And maybe he married. Probably not. And you guys won't say nothing or will be with them. And some of you guys take that into the body of Hamashiach. You guys will. Because some of you guys, if that man said, repented and came to the gospel, and now you have a 5'10" guy that repented and came to the gospel with no kids. And this guy got 3 baby mamas, but he's at your congregation now, but he's 6'8". You guys will still be with that guy. You guys didn't change the mindset. Well, he's in the Almighty now. So yeah, man, everyone deserves an opportunity to repent. But if that 5'10" guy, if a 5'10" guy came to that same woman and had eight kids, 3 baby mama, oh no, he ain't mine. She will say, oh, it's because he has too many kids and baby mamas. But when he's 5'8", oh well, we could look past that. And that's the problem. I'm talking about sisters in the Almighty. I'm going to bring another one. And this ain't even a polygamy video. I'm not even teaching on polygamy today. I'm just showing you the hypocrisy with women that say they believe the Most High. And where we at? Here we go. Los Angeles Times. Los Angeles Times. Let's read this. STDs in women are skyrocketing. Officials think it's racism, misogyny may be the blame. How do you blame racism and misogyny? Now, STDs are rising up in women, but STDs aren't rising up in men. So what does that tell you? You guys are sleeping with the same STD 6'8" guys because he has 3 baby mamas and 8 kids. Those are just the women that he had kids by, not the women he's sleeping with, because it goes beyond 4 women, right? Keep in mind. So all you guys are flocking to the STD guy and getting STDs, and this is why STDs is skyrocketing in women and not in men. Because men, the average man, you guys just walk by because he's 5'7". And you run to the STD, 6'2" STD guy. You guys are sleeping. You guys are already sleeping with the same men. So why don't you just say, become a second wife? You're already sharing the same men. You're already doing it. Whether simultaneously, or whether you don't know about it, or whether you were with him and 3 months later he's with one and 3 months later. So you got 3 men that slept with the same dude. 3 women that slept with the same. You're already doing it. But then you don't want to be taken care of by a guy And this guy's led by lust. And if God made Adam, he would have gave him two. And this guy's so false because he wants to support two homes. I'm not talking about where you have your two wives work and you just stay at home and you pimping out your... No, I'm talking about the biblical way. Like you achieved a financial status to where you could support two homes and you could have 8 kids in righteousness and not be like this guy. Not be like that guy. Another study. Let's keep going. Next one. This one I was hard to find. I had it a while ago, but I finally found it. This is in Houston. I said this a long time ago. STDs rose up in women 128% in Houston since 2019. So from 2019 to now, STDs rose 128% in women, but not in men. Because what does that tell you? You guys are sleeping with the same men. The good guys are finishing last. The good guy, you're going after, oh, I want 6 foot, 6 figures, and 6 foot abs. And not one of those requirements is like, dude, I just want a guy that's faithful and he serves the Most High. I want a guy that's not going to cheat on me. I want a guy that's honest. I want you. They never, when you say, what do you want in a guy? It's always something to do with how they look or what they have, not the merit or the character. You might as well just be racist. Because if I get shut down for a job just for the color of my skin and you only date for height and how they make money, what is the difference? Because you're not going after character or the merit of a person or his moral compass. You're not going after the things that matter. You're going after things that's just appealing and looks right. So what's the difference between a racist person that discriminate me just for the color of my skin and don't know who I am, and you just go after women just by how they look? Go after men just by how they look. What is the difference? I don't feel shame with a woman if a man gets done dirty because he just went simply off the size of her butt. Oh, she got a big booty, I'm going to marry her. And then he gets done dirty, no sympathy. No sympathy. None will be given. Because you need to date with intention and to date with things that matter, which is faithfulness. Fearing the Almighty, a moral compass, considerate, loving, discipline. All the things that really matter, you guys just skip by. Oh, he's so tall. Man, look at, I want to, you know how many pictures I could take with my 6'8" or whatever, or 6'2" or whatever, right? I'm not even hating on this guy because he is a sinner. I don't even have time to hate on sinners. I'm dealing with how your perception of men versus what you guys do. Because you hate on men and we get the bad rap for people that do this. But you will go, the woman had no kids and she's still going to go sleep with the dude. And you know she had, and some of you guys laugh at me, but you know, if it's not you or some of your friends, you know some friends out there that will still sleep with that guy that have 3 baby mamas and 8 kids that will still sleep with that guy. And you have some friends that will still do that. And so you know there's an eternal problem with who you're choosing to your own destruction. No, we're not going to take the bad rap for that. There's good guys out there, but you don't want them. Because the good guys out there are probably 5'7" or 5'10" or 5'9". The good guys out there don't got swag because they were in college. While this guy was slinging pipe and getting his skills up under the sheets because he's no good, this guy was in college. Or this guy was pursuing a career. This guy wasn't led by vagina and led with his penis. This guy was trying to pursue his purpose because he wanted to have a family and whatnot just to get passed by. And then when you guys get it, 2 or 3 kids down the road, you're going to realize, man, I don't want that guy. But now you got 2 kids. Now you got 3 kids. Why do you got to find out? First kid, got you. 2 baby daddies, you kind of not looking too hot. 3 baby daddies, like, bro, you started a family 3 times and failed. You gave up, like, my woman. And I'm trying to help you guys out. Here. Some of you women need to suck it up, and your best option might be a second wife or share your husband. But I'm going to help you out. And tell me if I'm wrong. This is your price. All I ask you women to do is say, children, if you're going to bring in children, if you're going to bring any children into this life, please set your price for marriage. You want children? Marry me. If you just, and I don't agree with fornication, but I'm just saying, if you could just set your price to marriage, I will not have a man's child until I'm married to that man. If you could just set that as your price, then you'll be fine. And no, I'm not condoning fornication. If you would just set your price to that, you'll be fine. But you sell yourself at a lower price. So why would they respect you? You're literally, if you're worth $1 million, praise the Almighty. But you're selling yourself for $100 because you keep having kids by bums. You're selling yourself short. You're selling yourself short. Require marriage before having these people's kids. You're the one selling yourself short. That's like me going to the job and I'm a journeyman. I know I should be getting, because I make pretty good money. I don't like putting, and then I sell my shirt for a first year apprentice. Why would they respect me? You sell yourself you open your womb and risk pregnancy in first 2 dates. Or even if, we've been dating a couple of years. I require marriage prior to having any man's child. I don't care how long we've been dating. I am not having a no man's child. If that's a serious, bringing life into this world is serious, and I want a serious commitment for a serious situation. No, I refuse to raise this kid by myself. I want to raise this kid in a marriage. Just set your price to that. I know some of you guys are going to fornicate, but why do you have to have a kid out of your fornication? Because it's unfair to the kid, because the kid comes into this world with no father. And you could call him a deadbeat all you want, which he is. Because it says you're worse than an infidel if you don't take care of those of your own household. These deadbeat fathers are going to the lake of fire, which they are. But you have to admit, you sold yourself short because you allowed to be at risk for pregnancy with a guy that's not going to stick around. Well, I didn't know he was going to do that. The majority of women that sleep with dudes and get pregnant, they probably dated with that guy less than a year. And I think 6 months or second date or 1 month, there's no way you can know that he has husband material or father material in that short amount of time. And you're pregnant before you were able to properly vet that guy. So you can't say you didn't. Of course you didn't know, but you took a gamble. Vet that guy. You should be doing it biblically. He should be meeting the father, because that 6'3" guy ain't gonna meet the father to talk to you. He ain't gonna do it, and so you already vetting him out. If they're not willing to meet your dad, or meet your brother, or meet your uncle, and explain why they want to date, then they're not good enough for you. So, with all that said being done, keep standing, don't drop standards. Give the Almighty a hand clap. Shalom.